All right, well, welcome Twitch chat and YouTube. This would normally be your Wednesday Mythic Society Vintage Weekly event, but unfortunately we were not able to get enough players to fire that event. So please, if you want to play some Magic Online Vintage, make sure you show up on Wednesday evenings and play some fun Vintage with me. So instead of playing through that event, we'll just play through a league. We'll play through with the same deck that I was intending to play through on today, not on anything. This is what would look like a very suspect deck, I think, if you weren't in tune with what's going on Magic Online Vintage, because there are some card choices in this deck that look questionable. So this is an Oath of Druids deck, which is already in many minds a questionable choice to start with. But our Oath of Druids targets are a value 8 drop, Archon of Cruelty, new card, never played with it before. ETB, opponent sacks a creature or a walker, discards a card and loses 3 life. You draw a card and gain 3 life, also triggers on attack. So it's kind of like a flying Uro. Kind of. And that is inside of a Rug, Oko, Oath, Controlling Oath shell. Tons of Pyroblasts, Flusterstorms, Veil of Summers, and some interesting cards like a main deck Mindbreak Trap, a main deck Ancient Grudge, and Metamorphose, which I'm going to be completely honest with you, I didn't know was a Magic card until I saw it in this list. Put target permanent an opponent controls on the top of their library, and then they get to show and tell in an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land from their hand. And if you just saw someone play this, you probably laugh at them. But the person who was playing this is none other than the Queen of Oath herself, Miharu Fuyemiya. If you follow Magic Online, this is about the only player anywhere who wins with Oath of Druids consistently. Miharu streams a lot in Japanese. I will make sure I link her YouTube channel in the description of this video on YouTube. If it's not there, ping me in the comments and I will make sure I put it there after. Fantastic content, though a little bit hard for English-speaking audiences. But if you watch purely just the gameplay, obviously the number one Oath player probably in the world. So this is a person who's plays the most matches of Oath, wins the most with Oath, so you have to put some respect on the card choices and at least try them out. Now, Metamorphose was a weird enough one that she wrote a whole article that you can throw into DeepL Translate. I will also link that in chat and in the description, and that it kind of explains the reasoning on why she chose to play Metamorphose. And the basic premise is Oath doesn't really care about most things that get show and telled into play. So just having an instant speed way to buy a turn from some kind of extremely powerful thing, maybe I don't even know what it would be. I don't exactly understand, to be perfectly honest. Buy a turn? Maybe I need to reread the article because maybe we'll figure it out as we go, but it certainly is a weird one. Buy a turn from like a Bolas's Citadel, maybe? I could see that. There are a lot of people playing Tinker right now. You could hit maybe an Urza Saga Construct or a Planeswalker. There's a lot of things that I can think about where this doesn't let you put a Planeswalker back into play. So maybe you can hit a Planeswalker and then that player only has Planeswalkers and spells in their hand. Yeah, totally. Put an Underworld Breach back on the top of the library with a Brain Freeze on the stack. That's totally definitely a viable thing. So we're gonna give it its fair shot, test it out tonight. The Archon of Cruelty, I think my assumption is the metagame has a lot of Golos Shops players right now. Golos Shops is a deck that runs a main deck Karakas that is tutorable. Miharu's typical Oath targets are Niv Mizzet and Grizzlebrand, both of which get bounced back, and that can be kind of problematic in winning the game when your creature is getting bounced back by a land. Now, this deck is like a very, very controlling deck. Miharu plays a very careful game plan, not like how I play Combo Oath, where I just jam it and try to kill the person on the next turn. So hopefully we can figure that out and put together a good showing. We're just going to hop in a league and see how it goes. All right, so here we are in round 1 versus Paradoxical Outcome Master Pete Ward, also known as Fanoop. This hand features a Flusterstorm and an Ancient Grudge and a bunch of extra mana. I think I'm willing to definitely keep this versus a prospective PO or DPS player. Though we could just die on turn 1 because we don't have one of our 6 forces. That could totally happen. We'll have to see what goes down. If we can survive the first turn, I think we'll be in decent shape. But it looks like they are on they're trying out different DPS builds. So we'll see what comes out of it. That's a Ragavan. Okay. So they have a Ragavan under a Chrome Mox. Oh, are we getting... We're getting Galvanic Relayed. Okay. Probe, Opal, Ancestral. Wow. Okay. So... Interesting. All right, so we can... How does Flusterstorm interact with Veil? Because I'm countering their spell. Can they still pay? I assume they can still pay, right? I don't actually know how that goes down. Like, if they have enough mana to pay for Flusterstorm and I Veil, like, that doesn't actually do anything for me, right? So my problem here is if my opponent goes, like, Opal Ancestral, I don't think I'm going to be able to Flusterstorm it. So what I may choose to do here is just to Ancient Grudge one of these two. I think it would be the Soul Ring. And then if my opponent doesn't hit a Moxen, then they can't cast Ancestral. No, it did not fire. This also lets me flashback Ancient Grudge and Flusterstorm on the next turn. Obviously, they get to look at my hand. So maybe I should have veiled the Gitaxian Probe and flustered the Ancestral. That would be pretty reasonable as well. I didn't think about that, but that was probably a better play. Yeah, I could have veiled the Gitaxian, and then they would have had 3 extra mana. Yeah, I think I would have been able to Flusterstorm it. Big misplay already. They did draw into a 0 mana artifact, which is part of the problem here. Definitely an issue. Yeah, I'm not the best control player, and definitely got punished there for not playing that line. I just totally forgot that I could veil the Gitaxian Probe. Been a while since I played Veil of Summer. Certainly a powerful card. Not played super much in Vintage just because the cost of 1 green mana is fairly high for decks that do want it. So, bit of a mistake. We have a lot of counter magic, but I don't know how good Pyroblast is going to be. I assume my opponent is just on Ancestral Time Walk. Oh, wow. They are on a sweet one. That is pretty bad for me, I assume. They have Tinker. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, the good news is if they brick on this Tinker, I can metamorphose it. If they brick on this Tinker, we can metamorphose the Tinker. All right. Well, it looks like it'll pay. Oh, I guess I can just Ancient Grudge the Tinker, or Ancient Grudge the Citadel as well. Or maybe just like Time Walk this Ragavan. I have a lot of choices. If I Ancient Grudge the Citadel, then if I hit the Ragavan with the Metamorphose, they don't have the ability to turn on. I guess they still have red mana. They currently have no cards in hand either, so they actually don't get to put anything into play. But they can dash the Ragavan. Why would I Metamorphose the Citadel when I have an Ancient Grudge in my yard? Yeah. It seems like a waste, though, because then I'm just getting hit by this Ragavan, and they're going to be able to turn on their Saga. I might start with just brainstorming. Okay, well, that works. I might still want to Metamorpho. Well, no, if I Ancient Grudge, I can Ancient Grudge and Oath now. Right, so I play this land, I Ancient Grudge, and I Oath, and I just get rid of Veil and Fluster, Metamorpho, I guess Fluster, I guess Veil and Force. Veil, Force, Crack, Tropical, Sapphire, Ancient Grudge, Oath, pass. It was a good brainstorm. Thank you for playing Ragavan for me. It's probably very, very unlucky that my opponent bricked on their Citadel. I assume they have like 8 to 10 lands in their deck. And they're going to have to sack the monkey too. I guess they'll sack the monkey and they'll still have a construct. They hit a Flusterstorm, so if they actually cast like a powerful spell there, I would counter my negation. All right, boom. Let's get an Archon of Cruelty in play. Will they choose to make a construct and sack it, or sack their monkey? Very interesting. What an weird game of Magic. I definitely think I may have punted by playing the Ancient Grudge instead of doing the Veil on the Gitaxian Probe, but it ended up working out okay. Another Oath of Druids. So now they get to Oath. If they choose not to put a creature into play, they get to Oath into, I would assume, more Ragavans, but maybe they have like a creature tinker target. But I have a Metamorphose, so I guess that doesn't really matter very much. I'm definitely not playing Oath, as there's really no reason to, and I can hold up Hardcast Negation plus another blue spell. See if they choose to activate their Saga. They do. All right, so they do not get to Oath trigger, which is nice. This construct might get bigger than this Archon, but I'm at 1,000,000 life, so it really doesn't matter. I assume this just makes a. I don't think it can't even afford to make another construct, right? If they make another construct, then they would be triggering my Oath, which they probably would just lose. But yeah, this just gets a top, which is what we expected. But they've already lost Citadel, so I really think they should have a very hard time winning this game. So there's some kind of red-based Storm deck that has Burning Wish and Tinker in the board. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so I'm thinking we want Mindbreak Traps, Ancient Grudge, maybe. Pyroblast seems unlikely. My assumption is they have just Ancestral, and then they have Tinker and maybe Time Walk in the board, maybe a Time Twister in the board. So, what do we want? The Metamorphos seem very good against my opponent. Like, they put all this investment into one thing, and then it seemed pretty good for us, so I'm going to probably keep that. Do I think they use the graveyard? I mean, they probably have a Yawgmoth's Will in their Burning Wish package, so maybe it's, like, pretty valuable to do this. I'm assuming they don't have counter magic, and if they do, it's just Pyroblast. They might even be like a defense grid deck, so maybe we want to just bring in the cantripping lanterns. And I think Grudge is better because it can kill 2 artifacts than playing Claim against them. Would be my assumption. Yeah, I mean, they do have Ragavan, but they should probably board out Ragavan against Oath. Would be my guess. It's a very interesting deck. I like the idea of playing a Ragavan in like some kind of combo-based shell. It seems interesting. It is that powerful. Getting a treasure every turn is really, really good. This hand obviously does not do anything for us. I mean, it might not lose because I have a bunch of forces, but they're playing Galvanic Relay, which is not really a forcible spell. I kind of have to have a Flusterstorm for it. Okay, this looks reasonable. I'm going to keep it, and I'm just going to bottom this land. Maybe I'm just supposed to bottom Grudge. I'll bottom Grudge. Maybe, I think maybe bottoming the land is greedy. Let's see what they do. They put a Rit Flame, and they played a Monkey. Now, that seems really, like, I shouldn't let that happen. It feels a little weird to be countering Monkey, but I think it's correct. It's possible I'm supposed to be keeping Preordain over Probe, but it just feels like they have nothing going if they don't have Monkey. Well, I would have liked that last time. Let's see what they have in their hand. What a weird deck. All right, so they have a Mental Misstep in their hand. They chose not to use on Probe. They have Soul Ring, Lotus Petal, Burning Wish. So they can cast Burning Wish next turn. I mean, I assume at that point they would wheel. So they probably made the correct choice of Mental Misstepping or holding Mental Misstep, because I don't think I was going to Mental Misstep back, because I assume my opponent's deck is full of extremely powerful one mana cards. So I was going to hold Misstep, and that would have hit their Soul Ring, and that would have been pretty bad for them. So they made definitely the correct choice in holding their Misstep. However, I'm a little scared about this Burning Wish, I guess. Still think I'm supposed to Mental Misstep this, even though I know they have Mental Misstep. Yeah. So now I expect Petal Wish for a wheel, maybe? No wish. They did not choose to wish. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to keep up Flusterstorm, Lantern, and Cracking. I guess if they wish now, I can't Flusterstorm the wish itself. And they don't have to crack their Petal unless I Flusterstorm. I think I would rather just Flusterstorm whatever they get out of their wish. What's the best sorcery they can get? So they're going to get a Galvanic Relay. Okay. All right, I'm just going to fluster the shit out of this, and then we're going to be in a good spot. They did know our hand, so it's obviously kind of annoying for them that we drew Fluster and what they didn't know about it. The question will be, do we crack this Soul Guide Lantern? And I think it's a little awkward because if they burn, I guess they can't really cast Yogwill, so I'm going to crack this Soul Guide Lantern. Pretty good one. Huh. I think I'm still supposed to cast it. All right, well, Onoko should win this game. That's a good draw. Uncounterable threats. And they have another Burning Wish. No, I would think the will would be in their board. So I'm just gonna negate this, pitching Brainstorm, and then Oko their Soul Guide, Soul Ring. Yeah, Miharu posts a lot of write-ups and YouTube content, so there's a lot there to digest. Oh wait, I lose my Oko if I kill their, if I put the Soul Ring? No, I will. It's just for mana efficiency. Like they like can wait and hold like if you don't hit the Burning Wish there, they could say get another Galvanic Relay, spend the next 2 turns making constructs, and then Galvanic Relay off of like 3 spells or something, and then I can't negate it. So I really don't think I was supposed to hold the negate. I'm a little concerned about this Oko because I'm giving them a Spirit, which means I can't plus on this Soul Ring. I guess I have a Metamorphose, so that might work out anyways. So my Oko goes to 1, and I kind of have to draw. Oh no, I can hit the thing with this. Metamorphose looks good. I guess as long as they don't draw a mana source. A Time Vault. Oh no, they're gonna combo kill me. I have to hit this Time Vault now. Huh. Because they just get a key. I guess I could hold the Metamorphose and hit it when they target it. But then I can't save the Oko anyways. So I think I have to give them 7 power. Wild. Actually, if I put the Soul Ring on top, yeah, we could meta the land, but then they just keep the land, so I don't really want to do that. I think I'm just gonna put the Soul Ring back on top right now. Unfortunately, it doesn't save my Oko. So they have no cards in hand, so this is just like putting this on top. And then they redraw it and their Saga goes off, but they can't pay for the Saga still. I don't think hitting the Saga would be good enough. Maybe it would, because now they could top into a Burning Wish, I guess. And I lost my Oko, so I kind of just have to hit Oath. I wonder if I played badly. I'm not really sure what I could have done differently. I could have kept Brainstorm and not Oko. Then I would have just lost to this Time Vault, right? think stopping them from getting a construct was good. They found another saga. Maybe I need to bring in Nature's Claim for saga. Oh, wow. I'm pretty close on that. Maybe I'm supposed to bring in Nature's Claim for saga. I didn't really think about that, but it seems like that might be the case. It might be just better than Ancient Grudge because it hits everything. So do I win if I hit a land here? It certainly would be helpful. Okay, I guess we'll try. All right, well, I'm gonna play my Uro, and you have 1, 2, 3, a 4, 5, 5 construct. So might be good enough. They also get to tutor again. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely bring in Nature's Claim. I think forcing the monkey was still correct. I don't think my opponent really has answers to Oath besides just combo killing me, so see what my opponent does here. Okay, construct, and then they get up to a 6/6 actually. So do I have to block? No. What can they get with this? A Lotus? They did draw the card they wanted, so they're gonna have maybe Lotus plus the card they wanted. Ruby. Tack. Just the construct. Yeah, I think I have to take that and then attack and hope that that's gonna be good enough. I could draw like Ancient Grudge. Or Time Walk is pretty good. What is this? Oh, they're drawing a card so they don't have to discard the card they want to draw. Oh no, they drew into a Lotus and then discarded it. Okay, and I drew another land, which is not great. But I have an Ancient Grudge, so it looks like I'm winning currently. So is there any reason to wait? I don't think so. Maybe I don't have to hit both of those. I could go to 1. But they're at 6, so they actually die on this swing back here. The only way I lose is combo. So I think I'm in good spot. This card has been very good. Obviously, we drew like a goddamn king right there, but this... Both Metamorphose and Archon have both looked very good.
Oath of Druids.
Wow. Okay, sweet. Like I said, I don't think I played that whole match particularly well, but the deck was really strong. All right, round 2. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So am I supposed to jam Oath here? I don't think so, right? This seems like a hold open my counter spells, let them play a creature angle. I am not a good Oath player by any means. I have picked up a little bit from watching some Miharu streams, but I would assume that this is a time where we do not jam Oath of Druids. And instead, we hold up Force Pyroblast and hope that they play a creature, and then we slam our Oath of Druids. Exactly, yes. It also protects us from like wasteland, like a bunch of other stuff. Basic island. Emerald. And pass. Okay. I think we're getting ancestral in our upkeep. Is the vibe that I'm feeling right now. Okay. We don't technically have double force. It's a little sad we didn't draw any kind of land because we could always play Oko. But we'll just continue on. I think I would put our opponent on PO. Yeah, you got a time walk. It's one of the few decks that plays Island Emerald. Flooded Strand. Island Emerald, Flooded Strand. Another go. Interesting. Like to hit lands. Guess it's not terrible. We now have 2 forces. Fluster, Blast. Who does this, Max? Who plays Draw Go? Alright, so it is PO. We have a lot of stuff. No, it's definitely PO. I guess it could technically still be Blue Black Witch. Or like an Urza deck. I'd love to hit a land. Even without the vault, like Emerald Island Strand doesn't really lend to most decks. All right, well now I definitely do not believe I'm supposed to cast Oko. That seems like it would be bad. Seems like a good way to lose. I do want to try to play around an opposition agent though, so I do want to fetch at some point. If they fetch as a bait, they could easily be playing a main deck opposition agent, so I just don't want to fetch at a really bad time. My opponent only has 4 cards in hand, and we're sitting on Pyroblast Force Fluster. So Fluster is falling a bit outside of range.
I am act orally. I am act winning. I am act winning.
Thank you. All right, so do I want to crack in response to this first one? I think so. I really don't think I'm going to get wastelanded by my opponent unless something weird is happening. All right. Nothing weird happened, which is nice. See, I assume this will be a Tundra or a UC. If it's Tundra UC, then we're just most certainly... Oh, it's Tundra Island. Maybe it's like a Bryant Cook blue-white PO. Yo, how's it going? No props. Well, thank you. I actually had to go into the office today, so... had to shirt it up. Alright, so I think I'm just supposed to let this Narset drop, and then... Oh no, I have to hit a land to Oko kill the Narset. That's annoying. I guess I can negate and pitch... Fluster? Assuming that I care about an Narset, which I think I do. We're not a pre... Are we a preordained deck? We are a preordained deck. So I think I'm just gonna negate pitching Fluster. And if they force back, then I can force back. That's fine. Well, they have a... They did force back. I'm kind of worried about triggering Oath Kubels, so they have one card left in hand. Think I just force, like, it's really awkward because if I draw a land, I can Oko, stand up my Emerald, and attack the Narset. I guess if I draw a non-Forbidden Orchard land, but if I drew a Forbidden Orchard land, then I would just play Oath. I'm like real scared that I just throw my whole hand down and then they PO or Tinker, but I think I'm supposed to force this. I'm not thrilled with this sequence, but at this point, I probably will just play Oath to be mana efficient. Don't really think they're going to play a creature. That's really bad. Definitely the worst draw. This at least stops them from... I don't know. I think we're going to die, is my assumption. My assumption is my opponent's last card will just be a draw spell and we'll be in a bad spot. We did hardcast an Archon and win our last game, so... Alright, well, time to find out what their last card is. Survey says... Could be... another land... No. Thoughtcast. Interesting. Thoughtcast with Tundra Island Island. Why? That's weird. Wish we had an R set. Are they playing 8 cast? Well, the good thing is they can't play Thought Monitor because they'll die, probably. But maybe we should have let them play Thought Monitor. Who knows? Forbidden Orchard? You're a turn too late there, Archon. You're a turn too late. Stop it. Stop it. No PO copy pastas. Bit too late on the Misty. Alright, so they have a Saga, but they probably aren't going to make constructs. Though they can get like a key if they find a Time Vault or something. Ah, that's a good draw. Blue, green, Oko. If they have a force, they have to counter this, which they may. They're brainstorming. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn their Mana Vault into an Elk. Turns off their Opal, gets rid of an artifact, and lets me trigger Oath of Druids. Should be pretty decent. In this matchup, is Archon better than Grizzlebrand? No. No, definitely not. I would assume Archon is a concession to the amount of Golos Shops players who have main deck Caracas. Like, I in the 150 players showcase, there were 20% of the field. 20% of the field was Golos Shops. So a very good metagame call to go Oath of Druids with a non-legendary creature. So that's just like strictly untrue, Slasher. Like there were multiple Golos Shops players in the top 16. There were just more Golos Shop players near the bottom. Again, you can be not a fan of a deck, but you shouldn't lie about it. You could technically say a Golos Shops player top 8'd the event with the blue Shops deck. I'm pretty sure that's a Golos deck, right? Technically, I mean, it's a 5 Golos, like, play big artifact Shops deck. It's very similar. Were there Golos? I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure there are Golos, because I don't feel like you can play that style of deck without them. All right, so my opponent has taken the opportunity of me giving them a creature to play their Urza. They could do some spinning if they wanted to. They could make a construct. I would recommend they make a construct and then spin, because they have, let's see, 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana. All right, so they chose to make a construct first, or to spin first. They did hit an artifact, so they actually can still make a construct with the Saga, which is unfortunate. If they had missed on an artifact there, though, they wouldn't have been able to make a construct this turn, and that would have been bad. However, I'm not sure that an Archon of Cruelty and an Oko are going to be good enough to beat this board. I guess we will find out. Attacking me. Interesting. Unfortunately, I don't have the second Archon in my deck, or I would be able to put both Archons into play right now. Maybe I'll draw Brainstorm. Do I want to shuffle these cards in before I draw? I'm walking Ancestral, yeah. Okay, so they have to sack a creature. I assume they sack Mana Vault. And then they discard a card, a Flusterstorm. I drew a land. And unfortunately, I have this Archon in my hand, so no point in triggering this Oath. So I do think I will crack. Do I have a fetch already? Guess I want a red. Guess I could use a green. I don't know. I, of course, drew a land. I guess this land technically helps me cast this Archon. So, what can I do? I can turn this construct into an elk. I could turn the Oko into an elk. They're going to make a construct. They'll have 2 4/4 constructs. They'll have a 5/5 construct. They'll have 2 6/6 constructs. They'll have 2 7/7 constructs. So that's a problem. I could take the construct. That doesn't really do much. I could just turn the construct into an elk. And then they'll have 6 6s, but only one can attack. Probably the best line. And if they don't do this right away, then they can't make a construct, which would be nice. All right, so they're going to make their construct. I think because we drew this Archon, we may have trouble winning this game. I do think if we were able to put in 2 Archons on this turn, we definitely would win. But because we were not able to put in 2 Archons, I have some serious doubts of that we're going to win this game. I guess we could technically draw that Ancient Grudge in the main. That'd be pretty good. I guess I can F6 because I don't got shit. We can only block because I turned the construct. I mean, we can block and kill because I turned a construct into an elk. Yeah, we could block with the Archon to save life and then shuffle it back in with the first Oath trigger and bring it back with a second Oath trigger, which is a play we might have to make. I would rather... I guess that's better than attacking, actually. So I might do that. Okay. What are we doing? Do we draw Pio? Is there a Pio in this deck? Is it just oh god, they have Pio in this deck as well? So they have Urza, Saga, and Pio, and Thoughtcast. Alright, that's a lot of artifacts. I don't play any Force of Vigor, so it's not going to be too bad, but we are going to bring in like 4 claims and an Ancient Grudge, so... I'm not really sure Grizzlebrand would have won this game anyways. And a Niv Mizzet would probably not win this game. I don't know if Archon was a huge issue. Yeah, that's just like not true with the way this deck is constructed, Kubels. Yeah, but like countering everything doesn't win the game. Because they have 2 sagas going. This deck is just not constructed in a way where Grizzlebrand will always win the game. If Grizzlebrand had a Niv Mizzet as well, I do think I would have won the game. But because I had drawn one of my 2 creatures, I don't think either a Grizzlebrand or a Niv Mizzet would win the game by itself. I guess a Grizzlebrand would have won the game because I could cast the Niv Mizzet, theoretically. So I do actually, a Grizzlebrand, if we would have 50-50. Because we could cast the Niv Mizzet. Well, I was thinking about it wouldn't win if it was the other way around. We drew one of our creatures, Kubels. You're forgetting the fact that we've had this creature in our hand. If the card we drew was the Grizzlebrand, we definitely would not win with just the Niv Mizzet. Drawing an Oath target is always bad. Drawing an Oath target here was particularly bad. No. If we drew Grizzlebrand, we just can't put it into play. I don't know how you're magically putting this Grizzlebrand into play. We would definitely not win if we had drawn Grizzlebrand and flipped into Niv Mizzet. I don't even know what's going on. Okay, so my opponent's taking infinite turns. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, we didn't have the greatest cards. It wasn't super good, but I'm just gonna bring in Nature's Claim, Veil, and Grudge and Trap, and then I'm going to take out. Wait, how do I board these cards in? Okay, so she doesn't want Grudge. So I have the old sideboard guide, but the problem with the old sideboard guide is it's old and it doesn't have Urza Saga. We have so many counter spells. Well, I think Claim would be better than Grudge because it actually just hits the land. Bro, I definitely can take out Metamorphose. I mean, even Metamorphose isn't terrible. You just like hit the... What? Was I playing too slow for them? They just combo killed me by taking infinite turns. And then they bailed. Maybe they had to go somewhere. I don't really understand, but okay. Let's think about how we would sideboard here, though. It's probably something like dinner, yeah. Oh, is that you? All right, well, have fun at dinner. Yeah, how do I board here though, chat? How do I board here? Like, I definitely think you bring in Veil of Summer, Mindbreak Trap, but how do I board in these cards? What? You're insane. You're definitely never boarding out Negation or Mindbreak Trap in this matchup. I don't think you're supposed to get board out Negation. That seems incredibly sus. You might just not need, like... Maybe you board out Fluster because you're playing 4 Pyroblast. Like, you could board out... I don't know. You just have so much stuff. Like, maybe you're boarding out some Okos. I don't know. You have a lot of stuff in that matchup. Okay. Round 3. Oh, Ben is back. I draft the beats. Previously, Doomsday, Bug, Pio kind of player. We'll see what they're on today. Another Archon hand. This hand does play turn 1 Oko. Make a food. But I think I want to just mulligan and have this Archon back in my deck. I don't think this hand's like super strong. If it was an Oath, obviously we would keep it because then we'd have Orchard plus Bluster. I think I'm just going to mulligan this hand. This is fine. I think I'm going to just bottom... So if they're on Bug, we would rather have Oko, but if they're on Doomsday or Pio, we would rather have Narset Pyroblast. So I'm going to just assume they're on a combo deck and put this away. Is there going to be any Storybook Brawl tonight? I don't think so because I haven't made any dinner. Can I willingly keep this? I guess I can. Could be a bit awkward. I definitely am going to play some Storybook Brawl tonight, but I don't know if I will stream it. I did just take an 100-point loss, so I'm a little tilted, so I gotta like let it lay up a little bit. Okay. You got it, probe. I have to keep this because I think I need to be able to have enough blue cards. Okay, Saga, so likely Pio. Maybe I can bait them into just going the Saga route because I have all of these counter spells. Maybe I should have not put the Oath second. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna definitely not play my Oath so that I can get them to put a construct in play. It's going to take a little while, but I think it's worth it. I still have double force for super problematic things. I'm not putting it because I'm keeping it because it's the second blue card. It's not really about hitting 1-drops. It's about being a blue card, chat. All right, hopefully this Oath is fast enough. Not 100% sure it will be. Yeah. Now it's unblockable. I think that's okay. I think it's more important that I figure out a way to get this Oath to resolve. I guess I'm gonna die to these constructs. They play 2 artifacts. Interesting. I guess they could play 1 artifact because they then to be 14. I mean, I can counter a bunch of artifacts, I guess. But then I'm gonna die if I cast 2 forces. So I think I just die here. I don't really know what I could have done. I guess I could have hard cast Misstep was probably the line we should have taken. Yeah, I should have hard cast Misstep on the key. Interesting. This is just too slow against constructs, huh? Kind of wild. I mean, also just have no interactive spells in my deck that is like has main deck Ancient Grudge Kubels. Like it's kind of just. I think it's pretty unlikely for me to like losing to constructs here, but like my turn was so slow. Okay. So this size actually doesn't work out for them. They know I have Misstep in my hand. I guess they just have I go to 1. Might win. Very winnable. So they do have unblockable construct though, which is problematic. I think I really was supposed to counter this key with Misstep hardcasts. I definitely punted by not. Oh, I hit the Ancient Grudge. Miharu's a genius. Imagine losing to constructs. Couldn't be me. Do I want to actually cast this Preordain? Yes. I could hold up Force, Trap, Grudge. I don't think so. So do I want to wait until they put Mana Crypt mana into this construct? That could run me into a Fluster, which I know they don't currently have. I think I am just going to Grudge this now. I just don't want to run into Fluster. If they like play an artifact, Fluster me, and then make that unblockable, I think that would be really a bad way to die. Okay. Still have a lot of ways to kill me here. Definitely wanted to keep up an open force trap, I think. Seems really good here. They have 2 cards in hand. Yeah, they're making a bunch of mana, so I assume PO. I'm gonna do the trap. They have Fluster, I can just let the Fluster happen and then force after. They said they had 4 POs, so they might be drawing another PO here. In which case, if I can just draw into a red land, will be good. Also, they would mill. Oh, we drew into a red land. Also, they would mill over if they chose to hit Oath. I'm not sure they would. Oh, now I have an Orchard. But I still can't stop them from Oathing. But I still should play Orchard. I think they lose. I don't think they're going to Oath. Oh, they hit Monk. Okay, they did Oath. They mill over PO? Yeah, they did mill over a PO. But I have a Pyroblast, and now I get to get a second Archon, so we got this. Ben plays a lot of PO. PO, DPS, Doomsday, Bug are the big ones. We won that game, which is something. All right, so we have another trap. I do think we want both Ancient Grudges. I kind of agree. So maybe we should just take negation out? Or just trim a negation? I don't want to play claims, though. Maybe we can just trim out flusters and play claims? Like that? So weird to me. It's hella weird. I think it's good, though. I actually don't think I want to take Oko out. I don't really want to trim Oath either. I kind of need it. Maybe I could trim some Oath. I think you're like completely misevaluating these cards, Kubels. Like, Oko is just as good of an answer to a construct or like something bad. I also think this player is probably less on constructs, so I'm kind of, maybe I just don't want to play Ancient Grudges. I'll just play claims and Okos. Maybe I want flusters in that case. Like, they're definitely on a more traditional list, right? Or maybe they're probably not on Thoughtcast. Maybe we can trim Aoko. It's weird to not have flusters in, and I'm really not sure about Grudge, but I like Claim a lot more than Grudge because I can just claim their land on turn 1. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. See, this is why you're misevaluating what's going on. Oko is extremely good in the PO matchup at turning off their Metalcraft and giving them a creature to trigger your Oath. I don't think I really agree with your assessment at all. All right, well, my opponent had a full start and I didn't have. See, this is why you should keep in negation, right? For starts like this. Okay. That's not the end of the world. I do think I probably don't have to kill that. I can probably just hold open Blast. I would be boarding Lavinia out in this matchup, I think. So I'm a little surprised they kept it in. All right, so I'm not going to Blast because that opens me up to PO. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to play Island and Cascataxian Probe. Their revealed cards are Force. Okay. So that's a good sign for us. I think you should be boarding out Lavinia in this matchup as the PO player. But maybe it's changed because you're playing Sagas? As long as they didn't like hit PO off the top here, I think we're in pretty good shape. Kubels, we've disagreed on actual, factual, everything you've said tonight, so it do be like that. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is blast this force. I think the timer's on. And now they just have to draw it and win, or we lose. Or they are, you know, like this, they gotta do it now. They have to hit PO off the top right now. Oh, prismatic ending. Very nice. Huh. Well, they are 1 mana short of hard cast Force of Will here. There's definitely some value in just Oak going Mana Crypt, but then the Oko will die, so that's not great. Think I'm just gonna jam another Oath. Once the Archon triggers and kills the Lavinia, oh, they drew a blue card. Well, that's problematic, isn't it? I was gonna say once the Archon triggers and kills the Lavinia, I'll have like hardcast Trap up. Saga. All right. Well, we're playing the game on the ground. Nature's Claim. Okay. Well, we can just kill the Saga now. So play an Oko, make a food, claim the Saga. Why not Oko, Lavinia, then Lotus, then play Oath? Maybe that was better. That actually might be better right now, actually. I actually like that better now. I think we're actually in a better spot because we went with doing it 1 turn later. Because now I can Oko this. It gives them a creature. But I kill this, and then I have Hardcast Trap up for a top deck. Okay. Oh, I should have done this. There was no way I could have done this, right? And had everything open. Alright, I can do this on their turn, though. Alright, claim looked good here. And we're definitely protected against this current board. We'll just turn a Pearl into an Elk. And I have Hardcast Trap for this turn. What an interesting game. Yeah, a good one. Pew! Fluster? Fluster or bust? All right. That looks good for me. Um, Fine, because they were gonna sack one of those anyways. We still could die to a top deck PO or Tinker, right? I kind of wish I had grudges in right now so I could throw them at my opponent. Okay. I guess I will turn this Jet into an Elk. Turn the Crypt into an Elk. Kind of want them to take one more crypt flip. I guess I don't. This is going to be what? 6, 9, 12. So I guess the crypt flip won't really matter. So it's better to just turn this into an elk. And limit them on mana. I guess I could swing and hit their... I don't really want to swing there. All right, well, now the crypt would have... I guess the crypt flip would have mattered if they had cracked. And they hit a land anyways. Yo, what's up, Stefan? GG's. Wow. Wow, this has been really, really good. I don't think you're supposed to leave Lavinia in this matchup. I really, really don't. But maybe with this many forces, it's possible. Kind of hard to say. Lavinia let me play a really weird game there. So. All right, here we are in round 4 of this Vintage League. We're playing against Juan. Juan is a Vintage Showcase top 8 competitor. Noted the only player who plays 5-color shops. So let's see if we see a Gigantha. Looks like we're seeing a Gigantha here. Cheers, chat. We've got Metamorphose, Pyroblast, Gataxian Probe, and a Ruby versus 5-color shops. That's a Metamorphose. You never play with a Metamorphose, Stefan? You can read all about it here. Metamorphose. You do have to translate it though. I recommend DeepL because Google Translate sucks. I think I want to get rid of this hand. I do have a redraw, and I do have lands versus shops, and I do have a Ruby, and Pyroblast isn't technically dead, but I think it's still a mulligan. Man, this hand is also bad. This is like the classic get wastelanded and lose hand. Man, I hate this hand. I really hate this hand. I don't know. It's totally in range of keepable hands versus shops by just having the ability to force, trap, and have extra mana here, but I think I still would rather just like look for an oath. Yeah, I guess this is what we're keeping. We're keeping 5 cards, lands, and force. Oh boy. It's okay. We'll draw oath off the top. It'll be fine. They kept a 7-card hand. Wasteland. Hashtag played around it. Wasteland Soul Ring. Yeah, that's a good one. Sphere. Sapphire. Crucible. Ruby. Put Gigantha into your hand. Sphere. I don't think we're winning this game. I can't really beat a Sphere because they have a Wasteland, so I kind of have to force it, in which case I think they're just going to play another Sphere. No another Sphere. That's good for Justin. Oath! Oath! Fuck. Workshop. Trinisphere, sure. Trinisphere, put Gigantha into your hand? Say it ain't so. Oh, Karn. Okay. Just draw Oath. Seems like it'd be hard to cast there, Koobles. Don't think just draw Oath is good enough here. Sorry. Okay. That was disgusting. Alright, we're going to bring in an Ancient Grudge. And we're going to bring in Nature's Claim. And I'm going to take out Pyroblast and Veil and Flusterstorm. And I'm going to bring in Mindbreak Trap and... I heard Golos was decent against Doomsday. Was I lied to? Oh, wait, no. Doomsday is free for... Golos is free for Doomsday. It's the opposite. Ravager shops can beat Doomsday. What card do we want to bring in, chat? Soul Guide Lantern? Sure. Okay. Yeah, I would have really have liked to just sneak that game 1 so we could be on the play in game 3, but it didn't work out. Archon of Cruelty. It's been pretty good, honestly. It's like a better Uro. Did I just say that? It's like an Uro on steroids. It's like a flying Uro on steroids. That's all I can say. It's been pretty damn good. Been happy. Fuck, man. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just... What am I supposed to do here? Just play it and hope I draw an orchard? I feel like that's... Just keep it and play it and hope to draw an orchard, I guess. I don't think I'm allowed to mulligan this hand. But it doesn't really work versus my opponent. They can just lock me out of spells, right? Until they eventually find a cage. I don't know. I could see this supposed to be a mulligan, but... At least if we get Wastelanded, we do have, like, Lantern, Exile the Wasteland, maybe draw later. And if we draw Forbidden Orchard at any time, we're in great shape. Okay. That's not great. So it's like the Soul Guide Lantern's not terrible versus my opponent because my opponent does, you know, have Wasteland loops with Crucible, but Sphere. Yeah, I guess so. I don't really think I'm supposed to counter it. Okay, that's a good draw. I think we're okay. I think we're doing okay. It's not the worst place I've ever been. You don't want to claim the saga. No, I don't think so. I don't think claiming the saga progresses us to the whatever goal we have. Sphinx did strand their Karn Silver Golem. Slasher. Oh, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. Yeah, I think I'm okay with them finding cage, because then they'll put a creature in play, and then we just kill the cage. I think I actively am okay with that. So I think we'll be okay. I think that's actually part of our game plan, is letting them cage and then killing the cage. I'm not actively sure how they really get around this. I guess like Crucible Strip Mine is probably their best thing, but even then we still have claim for a Crucible. Like lock us out and then play Crucible Strip Mine, and then like Karn Lattice or something. I'm not really sure. Can we beat 2? Yeah, we got a Metamorphose. GG easy. What are they gonna do? Put a Sphinx into play? That actually does seem problematic. No, unless it's their only creature, then they have to sack it when our Uro Kroxa comes into play. I'm gonna guess they don't have a cage in their deck, because I don't think they know that we're playing Oath. I don't believe Juan is on Twitter, so they shouldn't know. Especially if they're tanking this long. Yeah, we can just metamorphose the Sphinx easy. GG's. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. They might just get like a Black Lotus, right? And cast their Sphinx. That'd be funny. Cast their Sphinx, and then we just get an Archon and it dies. Oh my god. What'd they get? What'd they get? They got an expedition map to get a strip mine? To get a Talarian Academy? To get a Inventor's Fair. Damn. And they have a Buried Ruin for their expedition map. My opponent's going off right now. Alright, we still just need to find an orchard. We can afford to preordain if we hit a land. Do another Metamorphose. Alright, I think I'm gonna go get my island and cast this preordain. Ah, GG easy. Alright, so I think we're gonna win now. Time for Archon to do its thing. And we'll get to play game 3. Exciting. Very exciting. I think we're pretty well covered here. Should be able to beat Time Vault with Claim. Would I consider Raven Form? Bro, I don't even know what Raven Form is. That's a sorcery, so no. Instant is very, very important. They're just gonna make a construct. Okay. Oh, they do have cage. Would you look at that? I like Juan. I'm a Juan fan. Oh boy. All right. So what I'm gonna do here is claim. Well, let's see. If I claim the cage now, I lose my grudge and I lose my grudge. What I could do is I could negate this thorn, and then on my upkeep, I could claim the cage. And then still not shuffle so that I mill over the Ancient Grudge. Think I like that. Or I could... Yeah, I don't think I want to Metamorphose, seeing as they put like a Sphinx into play. think I like this play. So now when I trigger this oath, it is going to mill over the Ancient Grudge. Both Ancient Grudges. Did it mill over all my tropical islands, though? Woo! It didn't mill over all my tropical islands. I might want to fetch a tropical island right now. In fact, I'm going to. That was the last fetchable in my deck. So if I drew it, it would just be out of land. Alright, so they sack a spirit, they discard a card, I draw a card. I'll probably end up oathing again. We still kind of have to grind here a little bit. I definitely can't cast Metamorphose because that will put a Sphinx into play, which would be annoying. So I do have the ability to Ancient Grudge paying the extra 1. I can also Ancestral paying the extra 1. I think we just leave everything as it is and then just end step Grudge or Ancestral. I don't want an Ancestral into my other Archon. I also can't block here, or I won't be able to trigger Oath again. Unless they play Karn Silver Golem, in which case I can, like, grudge something. So now they have Buried Ruin, and the Karn is in their yard. They can Buried Ruin back the Graph Digger's Cage. That's problematic. I guess I probably win with just one Archon. But I won't be able to flashback my grudges once they get back at the Graph Digger's Cage. Yeah, I have a Gaia's Blessing. I do have a Metamorphose as a way to beat a Sphinx. If they were to just, like, find a jet. I've actually been pretty impressed with both Metamorphose and Archon of Cruelty. I think they've both been pretty good. I don't know what chat thinks, but they both seem to be pretty strong. All right, so my opponent is going to bring back their cage, and then once they cast this cage, we will destroy the sphere. Cage doesn't stop Gaia's Blessing. I don't think it does anyways. This Archon does everything, really. So Oath is bugged right now, right? We still want to trigger this Oath, even though it doesn't put the Archon into play, so that we can hit. I think we still are supposed to trigger this Oath no matter what here, so we can try to hit Gaia's Blessing, right? I'm just worried it's gonna bug out. How is it bugged right now? It's supposed to stay on top, but it instead gets exiled? Is that how it's bugged right now? Alright, I guess I shouldn't care how it's bugged. I should just play as I normally would play. And that is, I need to shuffle, so. It doesn't go into play because my opponent has a cage. And they fixed that bug. Alright, so I hit my Gaia's Blessing. My Archon went into my yard, which is not where it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go on top, but it would have got shuffled by Blessing anyways, so no change in board state. So that's good. So here, we can attack and trigger this Archon, and then we can cast Ancestral, and we'll be in great shape. So I have an Archon. I guess the Archon should still be in my deck. So there's actively no change because we hit the Gaia's Blessing. If we had hit the Archon before the Gaia's Blessing, the board state wouldn't be correct. Okay, we got a Force, which is nice. Let's Ponder with a fetch land. Brainstorm, Narset, Volk. Kind of just want Okos. I guess I could take Brainstorm, fetch away, and then cast Preordain. Narset does find me Okos, but it also just dies. Is having a Brainstorm better than having a random card? No. I think I'm just gonna shuffle. Don't want those. Okay, this is fine. I like this. I have all kinds of counter spells. My opponent has a Sphinx and an unknown, and then another unknown, and the ability to get Gigantha. I could metamorphose the cage to get a I could metamorphose the cage to get another Archon. But then there's a Sphinx in play. Oh, they drew Tinker. Where'd the Sphinx go? Oh, the Sphinx was okay. Well, the Sphinx was gotten rid of by the Archon. I didn't look. What could they tinker? They have an active cage, so they would have to tinker. It doesn't fucking matter. Just counter it, Justin. Just counter it. All right, so now I can metamorphose the construct. No, the cage. I can metamorphose the cage, making a thing, and get a second Archon here. Okay, sweet. I'm not exactly sure what they would get off that Tinker because it can't be a creature because there's a cage in play. So statue or something? I'm not really sure. I definitely want Mind Break Traps and Negation. I mean, this is still the same, right? No changes. I think theoretically I can let that Tinker resolve, which is the cool part, but there's kind of no reason to. So is Pyro not good in this matchup? Yes. Pyro is not good against the artifact-based deck. They do have some blue spells, but I would not want to have Pyroblast in my deck. They probably have Ancestral, Tinker, Time Walk, and that's it. All right, this hand has a Force. It doesn't have a lot of lands, though. Good golly. I think this is not a keep. Is Pyroblast better than Red Elemental? I mean, you don't have DAC, so don't think it matters much. There could be a reason you want to get the spell out of your hand, though, so I would say yes. It's kind of just splitting hairs. I think I have to mulligan this hand. I guess you could. There, no one is surgicling Pyroblast, so I don't think it matters. I think this hand is a mulligan because it doesn't have enough mana, and its only mana producing thing is a Forbidden Orchard. Even though I have a forest, which I do like, I think this hand's bad. All right, well, this hand doesn't have a forest, but I have Lotus Ancestral, so here we go. I think you could theoretically mulligan that hand, but I'm off it. I just want to cast my Ancestral. Though I guess if they play Sphere, maybe I guess I can't cast Oko into Sphere, so yeah, this hand's pretty bad versus Sphere. But I don't really think I was allowed to mulligan it. Land? I do have the Brainstorm, I guess. All right, so I'm going to leave this as it is, because if my opponent casts a spell I want to force, I can cast 2 mana Ancestral Recall and have 1 mana floating to pay. Yup. I guess what we could do is just hold this Lotus and then try to draw into an Oath. That might actually have a higher chance of winning. We might have a higher chance of winning this game if we just don't crack this Lotus. And just try to draw Oath. I think we have to find lands. So I'm going to cast Ancestral here. So we can fetch Basic Island and Ponder. We can fetch Tropical Island and Nature's Claim the Sphere. Fuck. This game's gonna be hard. I don't know. It's so close. But they've already wastelanded once. I guess they could have Crucible. We should see if there are Crucibles in their deck. I think there are 2. There are 4. No, that's a different deck. There are 0. No, there are 2. There are 2 Crucibles and 3 other Wastelands. I don't think Ponder's good enough is my problem here. So I think I want to take the risky line. I wish we had drawn Force if we were going to draw all these blank uncastable blue cards. But now I don't want to draw Force. I just want to draw lands for the rest of the game. I just want to draw lands for the rest of the game. Golos into Wasteland. Ooh. Yeah, we're dead. We're very dead. Had to have Force. Had to have Force. Yeah. 5 colored random cards. Hope you have the right ones is pretty good. Played a Mana Crypt. The race is on. Time Walk? Sure, sure. Oh, they get Gigantha. No, the race is not on. We're gonna get Gigantha. Jeez. All right, so if we draw and a saga, if we draw land, Ruby, I don't think that we have outs. Opponent is definitely not the hero slasher. I didn't even hit a land. So we had what? Two? We had one land in our top 14. 2 lands. Maybe I was supposed to mulligan that hand. I considered mulliganing that hand. It's a little hard to put away Lotus Ancestral, and we definitely were gonna win if we had drawn Oath off the top. But we drew pretty bad, right? We drew Archon, Time Walk, Oko. So we didn't really have a shot with what we were given, unfortunately. You hate to see it. All right. Here we are. Final round of this vintage league. I think this is fine. Maybe it's not fine. What hand? What deck does this hand beat? Kyo with no turn 1 spell. Doesn't beat Dredge. This might be a mulligan. It seems kind of bad. I could be wrong, but I just don't see this hand beating a lot of things. I guess it would beat any fair blue deck. All right, you know what? Let's try it for science. I'm inclined to think that this hand is a mulligan. Oh, fuck's sake. Vintage, huh? All right, so we can still draw into things. All right, so they have mental. They did not mental misstep. Interesting. They have 1 Dredge 2 and a Bloodghast with 2 Bridget. They have a pretty bad hand. I guess they're gonna misstep my Preordain now, but oh well. They did not misstep my Preordain. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get this Oath of Druids. Oh, should I have floated that? No, they're gonna dredge anyways. I don't think I'm allowed to float that with an Oko. I would think not, especially with them having a Noxious Revival. I can't let it go too far down. Yeah, never mind. So they dredged back Salvage, and then they activated Bazaar as normal. And then they play Salvage. Oh, we lose our Oath. For fuck's sake. Oh, they hit fucking Therapy. They fucking hit Therapy, man. That's so unlucky. That's so unlucky. Oh, wow. The percentage chance they hit Therapy in 4? Or is it 5? 6? 5. In 5. Opponent had nothing, and then 5 cards deep, they hit the exact 1 card that mattered. You hate to see it. All right, we can draw one of our Oaths. 3 and 50. Well, the problem with keeping Oath on top is if my opponent just sees me keep a card on top, they can just Noxious Revival and stop me. They probably wouldn't, because it's kind of a high IQ play. I don't think most players would make it, but if my opponent was like Jerry or Wizard, I think they would. If they saw me top, I think they would Noxious Revival like the Preordain to the top of the library, because they know that I'm looking for Oath, and they know that that's like what I want to be doing, you know? So I don't think you're allowed to top and hide it. And I think it's a pretty low probability that my opponent is going to hit Therapy. So So I don't know. I think it's still correct. All right, goodbye, Coop. Oh, it didn't actually work. I guess you're saved. I don't feel like figuring out how it works. Ah, now they misstep me. I don't think I can beat this. Been too long, huh, Slasher? I don't even know the syntax anymore. Goodbye, Coop. I think we're dead. I think we're very dead here. I don't really think we can live long enough, unfortunately. So now my opponent knows we're Oath. We actively lost a game 1 against Bazaar, which I don't think you're really supposed to lose. And now we have to deal with 4 Vigors guaranteed. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough, but we do have a huge sideboard for it. So that's nice. All right, in this matchup, Negation is terrible, Mindbreak Trap's terrible, Pyroblast is terrible. Normally I don't really like Misstep. Yeah, I don't really want Misstep. I guess Metamorphose can put the Bazaar back on top, but that really just... I guess I could put the Bazaar back on... That doesn't really do anything, right? Does that ever do anything? Does that really ever do anything? I don't think that ever does anything. Well, I did the wrong thing again. Just exclamation mark Metamorphose in chat. And then throw that through Deep L, and then you can do it. I don't think it does anything in this matchup. I guess we can put things that kill Hollow One instead. I guess Flame is probably better than Grudge. Hit some like ley lines. K-Gorgs, 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 K-Gorgs. Go there, and you can learn all about it. I don't have the answers you seek. Pretty good one. How am I supposed to play this, chat? What does a man do when they have everything? I have everything. What does a man do if they have everything? I think we go Delta, Sapphire, Time Walk, Ancestral, target myself. Bait anything, bait any kind of counter magic with the Ancestral and slam Oath. I think that's the best line. And if they don't counter the Ancestral, then I have free reign to draw into a Force. And this plays around Mindbreak Trap. Now I have a Fluster. Huh. Well, now I kind of think they would have countered Ancestral, right? Unless they have Vigor. Yeah, I'm not going to play into Vigor. I'm going to cast Soul Guide and hold open Fluster. I like how we played this. I like how I played this. Chat didn't give an opinion. I guess chat said play Mox, Oath Mox, go. Which I don't think is correct. All right, so they had actual, factual, nothing. Interesting. Very interesting that they had actual, factual, nothing. It's good for us, though, as we have Fluster and Oath. I guess they could have grief. Grief is the way we lose this game. That would be pretty bad for us. Oh, they discarded grief. Are we lucky? Yeah, we were totally screwed by that grief. I guess we could still play the controlling game. But, wow. I'm surprised. I read the thing and yeah, that is part of the article for sure. Aha, they had grief and vigor. This is why. All right, I think I played this game great. I'm pretty sure I played this game fantastic. So, though our oath target is still kind of sus in this matchup, so I'm not confident. But we have an active Soul Guide Lantern, so a creeping chill, it's fine. I think it's just like generically good and not legendary. It's been quite good. It's obviously just like not something you super want to see when you're playing against combo because you're trying to kill them as fast as possible, and it really doesn't kill them as fast as possible. So, uh, but it's been very good tonight. I've been very, very happy with it. So, I'm not sure it's better than Grizzlebrand, but I think the new Angel's pretty garbage, unless you're like obviously it's like pretty decent in this matchup where you would board it in. I definitely played Blazing Archon in combo shops or combo oath, but this deck is like a value oath deck, not really a combo oath deck, so it doesn't really follow the same rules. I don't really want any of that. All right, so we should be very insulated here. They only have one card in hand, so it's not like we can get Vigored. And we have double Lantern, and they don't have anything in yard that matters yet, so we can wait until triggers go on the stack. Okay. Yep. There's still no triggers on the stack, which means we get to wait even longer. There's still no Icarids in their yard. Oh, there is an Icarid in their yard. All right, fine. I will exile your yard. So now they could activate again, I guess. I guess I should not have done this. I should have activated on end step. I mean, if they're just going to hit 3 chills, I don't think I care. So, didn't end up getting punished at all for that. No. It is a strict upgrade to Blazing Archon, and that's where you would board it in. But this style of oath doesn't need a Blazing Archon. It's typically you want Blazing Archon out of combo oath. In my opinion. It's not overkill. Like you actively want an oath target that specifically wins the game against like different combo shop stuff. Not combo shops, like not combo shop, but you specifically want it in matchups that are like challenging. You like bring it in against like obviously all the creature decks, and like Dredge is one of the big reasons you would want something like a Blazing Archon. I meant to just say combo and not combo and shops. Specifically like creature decks and like kind of specifically Bazaar and shops. Right. Right. Like I typically bring it in against Bazaar and shops is when I was bringing it in, but there are definitely creature decks you can bring it against too. So all right, the final match. What do we got? All right, that's a hand. It's a little slow, but I think we're supposed to keep it. Well, Blazing Archon is just worse in general, right? All right, my opponent mulled to 4. It's a good sign. Hopefully they don't have a hollow one, as our hand's not super... Oh, they pitched a hollow one, so they have another hollow one? Do they have 2 hollow ones? You know, I fucking hate Magic. My opponent mulled to 4, and their hand was Bizarre. Triple hollow one against my double graveyard hate draw. Just, like, so disgusting. Restrict this stupid card. Oh my god. It's actually completely unreasonable. Yes, I boarded in some claims. And we have an Oko. I didn't board in everything, chat. I left 2 grudges and 2 claims. I've only boarded in 2 claims. I don't think you want to overboard for hollow ones. Like, you're still like an Oath deck. Like, if I draw Oath of Druids here, 2 hollow ones doesn't matter. Oh, no, hollow one should have been restricted very much a long time ago. I don't think it's remotely close. But, yeah, we're going to lose. It's fun. Nice mull to 4. I could bring in more hollow one hate, but it's just really bad. I do have 2 tabernacles. That is true. I think I have to crack my Soul Guide Lantern. Maybe I should have cracked that. I think they have an Icarid, so I'm supposed to just cast this now. I can get Creeping Shield, I guess. They chose not to. Interesting. Trying to find a Tabernacle. No. Tabernacle. Nope. All right. I can block and I go to 0. Fantastic. Ugh, fucking hollow one, man. I mean, it's possible that I'm in the wrong and I should be boarding in more hate to kill hollow ones, but like I'm on Oath. It's not a big deal. I just fucking play an Oath of Druids. I don't know. Kind of gross. I just had nothing. I mean, I think keeping 2 dredge hate, I think keeping 2 dredge hate and an Oko is pretty reasonable to keep against my opponents. And my opponent's Multifor should almost never beat that. If it's 1 hollow one, it has no chance. If it's 1 hollow one, it has no chance. But because it was 2 hollow ones, we lost. And yeah, that's just how it is. Extremely frustrating. We only really went 2-2 with 1 match that didn't really count. So it wasn't the strongest showing, though. The 2 matches we lost were pretty close 3-game sets. And obviously, I'm not the best pilot. So certainly powerful. I don't know. I was definitely impressed by the meme cards or the new cards. I thought that Archon was... It overperformed as an Oath target. I don't really know that it's better than playing Grizzlebrand and Niv Mizzet, but if everyone is going to play main deck Karakas, like if 20% of the field is main deck Karakas, I think it vibes. My only issue with this card is it's a little slow against combo, but against everything that wasn't combo, and even against combo sometimes, it just does so many things. Like, kill their construct, discard a card out of their hand, they lose extra life, you gain extra life, you gain additional cards. It was pretty good. And Metamorphose it never had a downside, right? It was a little weird at one point against Sphinx of the Steel Wind, but we just didn't cast it. I did bring in Nature's Claim. I just didn't bring all 4 Nature's Claims in. Maybe I was just supposed to bring in all 4 Nature's Claim. There's a bunch of bad cards in the deck. Like Narset's pretty bad against Dredge. Though if our plan is like 3 Wrap Trap, 3 Lantern, Narset gets a lot better at playing like a controlling game. I mean, we took a bunch of cards out and we brought in 10 cards, right? We brought in 10 cards. I guess we could have brought in 12. I don't know. Probably should have brought in more Nature's Claims. I guess that's fair. I really just hate bringing in a bunch of Artifact hate and then they Dredge kill you, right? Or the other way around. You bring in a bunch of Dredge hate and they Artifact kill you. It's really... And the fact that both of their plans are main deckable and have no downsides is like... It can be pretty frustrating. But like I said, overall, I don't think we played super well, but the deck did well, and the cards that I was concerned about looked pretty good. I do think that 4 Pyroblast is actually curving back into the place where it wants to be in the metagame with all the PO players now. A bunch of PO players, a bunch of Hull Breacher players. So I actually think this deck is probably getting back into a pretty solid spot. It's obviously a pretty fringe deck. Only really Miharu plays it, but I definitely think it's powerful. So if you liked that video, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. That is the easiest way to support the channel. And I hope to see you next time. I should be playing the Vintage Challenge this Saturday if all things go correctly. So we'll get to do that for the first time in a couple weekends. Thanks for watching.